the wrestling is fake thing, I feel like is such a hacky take that is straight out of like 1991 when they were first realizing like, oh, what do you mean this is fake? And to not like expand on or develop your argument any more than wrestling is fake for 30 plus years infuriates me.
Yes.
And secondly, you know what else is fake?
Movies?
Game of Thrones.
TV shows.
Sopranos. Super bad.
That's so weird. Those aren't documentaries?
No. And it's like by saying it's fake, you're negating all of the entertainment that I'm sure you're getting from movies, shows, books, any form of, media that's also fake. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is the word fake, as a wrestling fan, does get under my skin a little bit because it's predetermined.
Yeah. There's a difference between fake and predetermined.
Yes. And
you think they fake tore their ACLs?
Right.
Do you think they fake broke their necks?
Right.
Kurt Angle wrestled with a fake broken freaking neck?
Preach, brother.
Hallelujah.
And all the surgeries they have, and say what you will about the Hulkster, but he's gone into depth about his injuries, and he's like 5 inches shorter than he used to be because of all his
He's got a compressed spine because of all the leg drops.
Yeah. The Undertaker, wrestling with second or third degree burns, fractured eye sockets.
Scott Steiner doing it with drop foot. He can't even move one of his feet.
Triple H tearing a quad off his bone.
Cody Rhodes wrestling with a, what was it, quad or a pec torn pectoral muscle.
Yeah. And it's like the predetermined thing, yes, but also I think it's kind of brilliant. It's its own thing. If you try to say, well, this isn't the NFL, it's not.
It's not.
Or if you try to say this,
although more people are saying now that the NFL is scripted.
Yes, so I'm hearing this.
The NFL is the new WWE.
Yeah.
Also, yes, fuck you, Chiefs.
Yeah, and I know you're a huge.
Go Lions.
I know you're a huge beyond wrestling. I know you're a huge sports fan, and I had a couple of things to get into with you. But there's a lot of times, and this is where I'm going to totally nerd out, and I feel like you agree. There's a lot of times where reality does. I'm looking at you, Brian, because you need to learn this. I'm going to teach him something. I'm going to teach him something here.
You're going to learn today.
You're going to learn today. So there are times where reality meets the storyline. So, perfect example, Cody Rhodes isn't...
That's not the example I thought you were going to go with.
Well, we'll say Cody Rhodes is not being presented in the way that he wants to be back in 2016, 2017. The creative boss, Vince McMahon at the time, was didn't know what to do with his character, so he made him wear face paint. And Cody Rhodes is like, I'm better than this, so I'm going to go. Cody Rhodes as a human, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to leave the biggest wrestling company in the world, go to the independent scene, and make a freaking name for myself because I have the confidence in myself to be a top guy, and it's not happening. So he goes and he makes a big enough name for himself where WWE has no choice but to bring him back as this new version that he's created for himself. And the fans loved him. And behind the scenes, it's all about how much merchandise and money you're making for the company. So yes, it's predetermined, but the real person has to be connecting with the audience. And it's on the real person to know what that's like. So there are like figments of reality and story that blend, and then ultimately what ends up happening on WWE programming is they're like, yeah, he was right, we were booking him wrong, let's move him into the top guy position so he can go on talk shows and continue help building our brand. And I mean, it all comes down to like how much money you're making, but also you have to be able to go in the ring. You have to be athletic as you would in any physical sport. So it's its own thing, and people need to stop saying it's not the UFC where they're fighting for real, and people need to stop saying it's not, a soap opera. It's kind of both,
It is. Yeah. It's an athletic soap opera.
Yeah. What is your favorite like reality meets storyline
Oh.
from wrestling?
I mean, the one my brain always goes back to is the love triangle from the 2000s with with Matt Hardy, Lita, and Edge.
Yeah.
And that one, it felt real because it was real.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Hardy got hurt. Lita's still out on the road. Starts this relationship with Edge behind Matt Hardy's back.
Mm-hmm.
Finds out, and he calls in on what was it, Sunday Night Heat, on that show, and ripped her a new one.
Yeah.
Called her Amy, which is her Christian name, I guess.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think I've heard the phone call. It's like Sunday Night Heat or one of those.
It's one of those weird like weekend throwaway shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then he ended up like actually assaulting Edge and then got fired.
Mm-hmm.
The fans were like, why the hell did you fire this guy? He's the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Brought him back. And then unfortunately tried to milk that storyline, even though he was in real pain.
Mm-hmm.
But that's always my like reality meets wrestling moment.
Yeah.
That's always my go-to.
Yeah, that's a great one. I didn't even think of that one. But yeah, it's wild. And if you're not a wrestling fan, just try watching WrestleMania 30 where the Undertaker streak ends and tell me there aren't some tears.
Or just watch the triple threat match at 31 in New Orleans.
I think that was also 30. Did the Daniel Bryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also 30. So
Bryan, Batista, and Orton.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Also, Kofi Mania.
Right.
Can't feel bad about that one.
Uh-huh. That was... Hey.
We've lost Brian.
Yeah, we've lost Brian. We've lost cabin pressure.